Let's change gears. 25 minutes now after the hour. After the Orlando attacks, the gun control debate reached a fever pitch and has not subsided as Democrats stage a dramatic sit-in on Capitol Hill, calling for stricter gun laws. Our next guest knows about this firsthand. What can happen if people lose the right to protect themselves? It was 25 years ago when Susanna Hupp survived one of the deadliest shootings in U.S. history, when a gunman drove into a Luby's cafeteria in Killeen, Texas, firing into the crowd and killing 23 people. Two of those victims, Susanna's parents. At the time, Texas was a gun-free zone. And as Susanna said in an emotional testimony before Congress back in 1991, if she was allowed to carry her gun, her parents might have lived.
I'm not really mad at the guy that did this. And I'm certainly not mad at the guns that did this. They didn't walk in there by themselves and pull their own triggers. I'm mad at my legislators for legislating me out of the right to protect myself and my family.
How does she feel now? Joining us with her story is Dr. Susanna Hupp, author of The Luby's, The Legislature, One Woman's Fight Against Gun Control. Doctor, welcome. Have you changed
Hey, good morning.
Good morning to you. Have you changed your view?
Oh, heavens no. No, if anything, it's more cemented now that I've had children, now that I have a family to protect. No, I feel absolutely very strongly about this. Look, I mean, the fact of the matter is there anybody out there listening right now that thinks that if we were able to somehow magically ban all guns in America, that the bad guys wouldn't still be able to get guns? So all of these laws that they keep proposing only affect people like me. They affect law-abiding citizens. So, yeah, I think they're kind of goofy, to be honest with you.
Well, the president doesn't feel that way. He thinks it's kind of goofy if you actually disagree with him and thinks you should have reasonable gun laws.
Yeah, well, you know, when you label something reasonable or common sense, I mean, you can call the stink of a skunk perfume, but it doesn't change what it really is.
So we had a Democrat sit in last week and stop all deliberations, and now they're calling for these individual congressmen and women to do the same sit-ins in their various towns. Do you sense a change in sentiment?
No, I really don't. I think the same people are effectively saying the same things. You know, when they label something, as I mentioned, common sense, it makes me take a second look at it. These laws only affect, I don't know how much more strongly I can say it, they only affect people like me. They keep people like me from being able to protect myself and my family. And look, every single one of these mass shootings that has occurred in a place where guns weren't allowed.
Right.
And what has stopped the bad guy with the gun? A good guy with a gun, in every case.
And Dr. Hupp, unfortunately, the one cop with a gun in the Orlando shooting was unable to get a shot off. Then we don't know really the details. We're going to find that out today. But others are saying, let's focus on the terror watch list. If you got a terrorist associated with ISIS, he should not be able to walk in and get a gun. Do you agree with that?
I think we have to be careful with that. I think it has to be measured, because what you're talking about is stripping somebody of constitutional rights that they have because they're on a list. So what I would say to that is that if we feel so strongly about that particular person that we're going to actually take away his constitutional rights, then why isn't that person locked away somewhere? Again, we don't want to just start taking away constitutional rights because someone is on on a list somewhere. I think it needs to be very measured and careful.
Background checks you're okay with?
Again, I'd have to pick it apart, quite honestly. Background checks, I think, here's what I think. I think that when somebody can vote, that they should be able to carry a gun. So what that means is basically that they haven't gotten a felony offense and they have not been adjudicated mentally incompetent.
Dr.
So
Hupp,
pretty basic.
Well, thanks so much. All these years later, you still have not changed your views. Dr. Susanna Hupp, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right, and the debate rages on. Meanwhile, coming up